In this video, I'm going to show you how to factor out a trinomial in which a is greater than 1. We're going to use the AC method. I'm going to show you two different ways to use the AC method. First, we'll take our a value, which is 7, positive 7, and our c value, which is positive 6, and we'll get 42. You want to find factors of 42 that will add up to be the middle term, which is 17. Now, factors of 42, we have 14 times 3 is 42, and 14 and 3 add up to give you 17. So what we can do is take this 7, and as we split up into factors of x plus 14 and x plus 3, we'll take that 7 and bring it in front of each x here. And from here, you'll search for GCF in both binomials, if you have one. In this case, you have one. On the second set, you don't have a binomial. We'll take the GCF out. It'll be 7x plus 2, and 7x plus 3 will remain the same. And again, we brought in that 7 into these binomials. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide out that 7 in the end, and our answer is simply x plus 2 times 7x minus 3. If you want to check your work, you can FOIL, take your first terms, you get 7x squared, your outer and your inner, I messed up the sign here, your outer and your inner will add up to be 17x, and your last terms, 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to take the same trinomial and show you a different way to use AC method. We can take our a times c, which we already saw was 42, and we found the factors of 42. We said they were 14 times 3. So what I'll do is I'll rewrite the middle term, because think about it. 14 times 3 is 42, and 14 plus 3 does add up to be the middle term. So we're going to rewrite the 17 as 14x plus 3x. So I want you to box up that middle term. We're going to rewrite it as 14x plus 3x. And if you check, 14x plus 3x is 17x. Now, when you break it up into these 4 terms, we can use factor by grouping. We find a GCF on our first 2 sets here, and we have 7x and x plus 2. In between these two, the GCF is 3, positive 3, and we get x plus 2. And if you notice, we have the matching binomials that we want, so we'll factor that up to the front, our greatest common binomial factor, and we'll be left with 7x plus 3, which is the same answer that we just got with the other method. You also have the choice to do trial and error, but this saves you some time. And you may like this method because you feel comfortable with factor by grouping. I'm going to practice 2 more problems that involve factor by grouping. We'll group the first 2 terms together and the second 2. Our GCF here is n squared, and we're left with 3n minus 4. The GCF between these 2 terms is a positive 3, and we're left with 3n minus 4. In order to continue, these binomials must be the same, so we bring them out. This is our greatest common binomial factor, and we're left with n squared plus 3 in our other set of parentheses. Now we can take the time and FOIL to check, and it should multiply to give you the original problem. Let's do this one more time. Pause the video if you'd like to try this on your own. And if you're ready to watch, here we go. We're going to group these 2 together. we're going to look for GCF in both parts, both here and here. Now this problem is a little bit different because we have this minus here. Anytime we have a minus between our two sets, we're going to try to factor that negative out. So here we go. Between 12 and 28, they're both divisible by 4, and they have the variable x in common. We'll end up with 3y minus 7, and we're going to factor out a 5 from both of these, but we'll also factor out the negative. So we'll factor out a negative 5. And if this is challenging for you, you can sit here and divide by negative 5, so you'll see what your result is, and you'll see why the signs are going to change inside. So we'll have negative 15 divided by negative 5, which will give us a 3y, and distribute to check to make sure it works. And we'll get negative 7. And keep in mind, we're factoring by grouping, so we want to make sure these do match. And if they don't match, just go back and check. Make sure that you found the correct GCF here, and you found the correct GCF here. It might come down to signs, or maybe a variable or a number, but again, make sure they match. As long as these binomials match, we can take them out. 3y minus 7, and we're left with 4x minus 5. All right, if you have any more questions, please let me know. Have a great day.